Delegates of the Senate, the time has come to rank the top 10 planets in the Clone Wars. It has indeed, for we were waiting for this video for long enough. You have already seen my top 10 Star Wars planets, so let's see the top 10 Clone Wars planets. Here we will only rank the planets that were only first seen in the Clone Wars. Enjoy, please. On 10th place is the watery planet of Mon Cala. This planet is a very watery planet with lots of seas, and all the buildings are underwater. It is also the home place of many famous species. Such species as the squid-like Quarren evil species, and also the Mon Calamari species, such as Admiral Akbar, Admiral Radus, and many others. One of the most reminding and greatest battles ever in the Clone Wars series was actually the Battle of Mon Cala, with lots of underwater aqua droids and Gungans and Mon Calamari and Quarren and the evil shark-like Rift Tamson, Anakin Skywalker, Kit Fisto, Padme Amidala, Ahsoka Tano. They were all in this battle, but still they couldn't win for quite a long time. There is also the famous prison inside one of the underwater towers. Not to mention the famous Prince Lee Char, who actually saved the planet from doom after the attack of the Separatists. And also,
it's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap!
I couldn't really get a picture of Florum, but actually I just want to tell you, this planet had many invasions and battles and everything like that, and it survived through all. Although, as we can see, it is actually quite steep, a planet with steep rocky mountains, and also sort of a dry and a desert planet. It survived the Darth Maul and Savage Opress attack, as well as the General Grievous attack and many others, including the Bounty Hunter attack and the Count Dooku attack. But to be honest, Florum isn't actually a very good planet, since it is mostly inhabited by very dangerous and very evil space pirates. In the center of the planet, there is their very evil lair, their base, which is surrounded by energy fields which protect it from attacking, which never actually protected it. Well, sometimes they did. And of course, the most famous pirate, the most infamous pirate in their gang, is of course the magnificent pirate called Hondo Ohnaka.
As my sweet mother always said, son, if one host is good, two are better, and three, then that's just old business. Hello, and welcome to Florum.
The birthplace of the evil separatist leader Count Dooku, Serenno is a magnificent, mostly forested northern planet, which actually has Count Dooku's actual castle in it. For me, this castle is truly magnificent, although it was drawn, of course. Look at that green circle, you see it? In the middle tower there is this green circle. I'll tell you later what it is. The planet was under attack of the Night Sisters, who wanted to assassinate Count Dooku for betraying one of their sisters, Asajj Ventress. Eventually, pretending to be Jedi and making themselves invisible, the Night Sisters failed and Count Dooku bit them, although he was blind because of their poison. Well, this green circle was actually the large window in Count Dooku's throne room. Some who maybe guessed, or some maybe watched, but some may not. So that's, yeah. Moraband is actually the home planet of all the Sith. Not all, but that's where the Sith Lords started, and that's where their organization began. There are lots of Sith who still exist here, at least they're ghosts. Well, actually, a fun fact: in the first it was called Korriban, but then they changed it into Moraband, the name of the planet. The planet is quite rocky and steppy with lots of hills and mountains, where Yoda, to pass his final test to beat death and become a Force ghost, has to face Darth Bane himself, at least his ghost, who was actually voiced by Mark Hamill, the actor who played Luke Skywalker. Later, Yoda has to face himself from the dark side. Yeah, that's not a very good idea, but I actually never mind. When Master Yoda passes all his tests, he sees a captured Sifo Dyas, a Jedi who was thought to be dead and killed long ago, but he has actually survived. Sifo Dyas tried to trick Yoda to join the dark side when Yoda actually understands that it is actually Darth Sidious himself, which leads to a battle which was waited by all the Clone Wars fans.
We meet at last, Darth Sidious. You cannot stop what is to come.
The king of Rhodia is actually the best friend of Padme Amidala. The planet is very exotic with lots of palms built on a giant pond. The castle and the city is surrounded by an enormous energy shield which can be opened like a gate. The usual citizens do not live in the palace, but they do live inside little houses, which one of them is showed, which was a child who was captured by Cad Bane for the order of Darth Sidious. Bardota is a planet where Jar Jar Binks and Mace Windu travel to unravel an ancient mystery of the prophecy of the dark side of the Force. As they travel there, you see that the palace high in the mountains and in the air is quite like a Japanese palace, which is actually a good idea because we never saw something like that before. And you can see it even more inside the actual throne room. The planet is inhabited by those creatures called I don't remember their name, but they do live there, and one of the most important one of them is actually the Queen Julia, who is the queen of this whole planet. Queen is secretly in love with one of the Star Wars characters who we actually saw in the films. And let you have a guess. Who might it be? Anakin Skywalker? Yoda? Ki-Adi-Mundi? Let's wait. Yeah. That's who is she really in love with. I understand that. So, on number 4 is the Zardosa Sixth, which is the planet where Jar Jar Binks and Mace Windu go after Queen Julia is kidnapped and taken onto that planet by the evil cultists. We don't see very much of the planet, but in that episode where we do see it, we understand that it is quite a romantic city, to be honest, especially in the night. But it is actually very frightening, especially the scenes with the stone guards and with everything. I like the design of the buildings with like lots of yellow stuff and those birds, electronical birds flying around. Uh, but eventually, in that episode, Jar Jar Binks and Mace Windu pick trail of Queen Julia and travel to that place where she is held captive. She was held captive for Mother Talzin, the great Night Sister, to become the most powerful. And here we have the famous line of Mace Windu, probably the most famous one in all the Clone Wars.
No match for my magic.
Magic is only an illusion.
Area is actually a very wet and foggy planet, which is like a city built on an enormous swamp. And I don't even want to know who actually lives there. But in the city, we know that Toydarians live there. One of them is called Watto. Remember that guy who was the slave person of Anakin? And also the king of the planet, King Katunko, who I was very sad when he was killed by Savage Opress. And Count Dooku was that sad too, because Palpatine didn't want King Katunko to be dead. He just wanted him to be captured. And on first place, we have Nal Hutta. As you already guessed in the name, that is the place of the Hutts. And the planet is very swampy, it has very awful smells, but it is actually in some cases very, comfortable for me, because it just feels so. And also, this is the planet where Obi-Wan Kenobi was attacked by a dragon snake and began battling it, but then his fellow Jedi said, like, why are you battling it? We are on a mission. We're not for showing off. And of course, how couldn't I mention it? This planet is the place where the Hutt Council gathers. Well, thank you very much. That was all. Subscribe and may the Force be with you.